Yeah, so I was planning on sending them earlier, and
That's okay.
It
You wanted
slipped
to
my
get me
radar.
on the fly.
Yes. Well, if you're still comfortable, still good doing it right
fine.
now?
I just, I asked her, I saw Tamara, I said, what is a compass analogy? She's like, I don't know. I was like, okay. Okay, so what is your north, south, east? Yeah, you're going to have to clarify some of this stuff as to what you're asking me in different terms.
Sure. Okay, so let's just start with overall your thoughts on the group session and whether or not you have anything sort of lingering from that.
I don't have anything lingering. I thought it went really well. I think we're all pretty much on the same page with sort of our experiences and challenges that we have.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It felt like the group was really, that there was good energy with the group.
Yep.
Throughout the whole conversation. I really was feeling that.
Yeah, I think we were very supportive of each other's thoughts, you know,
mm-hmm.
and could relate to many of the conversations, you know, that or thoughts that people would voice, you know, in terms of how they saw things or their institutions. I think the similarities on how institutions function and with regards to conduct.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so during the focus group, the compartmentalization thing came out, and I wanted to talk about that. And wondering when that came out as a group, it sounded like everybody was feeling that. Was that true for you?
Yeah. In this reference, you're meaning pretty much that we have to, in our own self care type of things, that there's the work that we do, and so we keep that in one part, right? And then there's our life outside of the work that we do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think for most of us that do this work, I think very well, we're able to do that. We're able to compartmentalize. To have it not impact our overall self,
mm-hmm.
that just during that moment in time, and understanding that there's only so much that we have control over, and in terms of assisting students with all the life challenges that they have,
mm-hmm.
and not taking ownership, you know, or responsibility, or making decisions based on some of that
mm-hmm.
that information.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you find that it's a helpful tool in navigating as you do the work?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think in the conduct realm, I probably don't use it as much as I do in the care world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the conduct world, you definitely still can get people that have different emotions and different life experiences and situations that have caused there to be a report of conduct. But for example, I have a student that I deal with a lot with care, but also has been having some issues with conduct lately, and making sure that I am, because I'm in both roles, right, making sure that I'm handling this individual in the role that's appropriate for the situation, right? So the most recent situation is about conduct and her conduct, and not, I mean, yes, looking at the other side, that yes, there's all these other challenges and there's a lot of care and mental health and those types of things, but I have to deal with the discipline and the behavior, right? I have to deal with the behavior, and not, because she has to be held accountable for the student for the conduct, and
mm-hmm.
then still try to provide resources for her.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it helps me both personally, because I have more of an investment with this individual, because I've been working with her for a couple of years, but I also have to then still be very professional, right? And I have to follow those policies and procedures and issue the next level sanction. And so sometimes that can be a little challenging. So when I was telling her, I said, you know, I think then I'm probably going to place you on probation because, you had something already in April. And I feel that, too, that when you were on probation last year, your behavior, that seemed to keep you in check, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it just helps to be able to look at it from all the different aspects of a person's, I guess, their relationship with me, right? Because sometimes it's just one relationship, it's just the conduct relationship, but sometimes it's a variety of relationships.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, it came out of the conversation that I had with all of you around how many different roles you carry.
Yes.
And how they need to be separated.
Yep.
And that can be from minute to minute sometimes in how you're dealing with the situation.
Well, exactly. I mean, you saw that in a phone conversation that we had, right, early on?
Mm-hmm.
No, not a phone conversation. It was in the office when you came in, right?
Yeah.
And I had to switch from being my helpful food meal plan person and trying to figure out, okay, and I was getting ready to go on vacation, so I had the personal. I had somebody
Mm-hmm.
coming to my office last minute that had stopped by my office twice because I could see her through the window, and then I had my responsibility with meeting with you, right? Mm-hmm. And then I had the phone call. I mean, it was like that's the real. You have to be flexible. Mm-hmm. I think the biggest thing, and we talked about that in the focus group, is you have to be flexible to an ever-changing dynamic. It can go from having a great conversation with a colleague about, professional development and developing some new programs or doing something to, bam, I've got to handle, we need to maybe call the police and switch gears like immediately, right? And have that fast kind of ability to process quickly as to what do I need to do at this moment right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think another way that the group kind of talked about it, and I wanted to follow up with you, is that shift from professional to personal when you're, end of the day or end of a crisis or whatever. What does that look like for you?
Yeah, so it depends on the circumstance, but for me, it is about being able to vent to my husband. Mm-hmm. I mean, sometimes I'm just like, I can't believe I had this situation, and it is about decompressing some of those feelings, right? And by verbalizing it, then having thoughts and ideas and that can possibly benefit my next interaction, or how am I going to word my letter, right, or my response to that person, or my next meeting with that person. Being able to express it verbally for me is important. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of challenging because you can't really talk to. I mean, I could talk to Tamara, I can talk to my, to my dean or VP, but you can't really share a lot of the stuff, and I wouldn't want other people. That's why it's so important for me to have more of a quiet, office space, not a space. Before, they've moved me and they had me like in the front area of the admissions and records, and where people would have to check in and then get sent to me. Well, people know what kind of work I do, right? Mm-hmm. I don't want students feeling uncomfortable, or being known by others that they may be coming to me for care or conduct. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, really thinking about how office space, my interactions with other people, how that can impact the student beyond just our initial visit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you feel like that the compartmentalization or the need for compartmentalizing happens on the policy level? Has that ever happened for you?
I mean, I think that they're doing a better job of, the thing is it's hard. I mean, I would say if we had more funding, there would be more individuals doing different work, right? So because I was so instrumental here, too, with our VAWA and our Title IX stuff and implementing that, for a long time they were really relying on me to do some of the investigations and do those and provide the resources and blah, blah, blah. Well, what if there are two students and now I have to deal with them, one with care or one with conduct, right? And